For more great content, make sure you follow 717 Sports Media on all your podcast listening platforms. Also follow us on social media, on Twitter at 717_sports, Facebook and Instagram at 717 Sports Media. We're also checking on our website daily for your daily news and sports videos at 717sportsmedia.com.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the 717 podcast. I'm here with our fearless leader, Mr. Brandon Way. We are very excited in this partnership we have with the Lancaster County Hall of Fame. We're going to be bringing you some special guests here on our Around the 717 podcast. Here in a few minutes, we're going to have Patricia Meiser, who is a legend in her own ring, and we're going to hopefully have some more on as we go on. But Coach Way is with me today. He's on cloud nine. All of his teams are winning. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. It's a good time right now.
It's a good time. It's a good time to be a Penn State fan. It's a good time to be a Eagles fan. If you're a Lancaster Catholic fan, it's good time for them too.
Hey, Lancaster Catholic fan, man. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, Andy knows the Lancaster Catholic grad.
And yes, he is. And we were hoping to have him on soon. This podcast, and if nobody knows this yet, 717 will be attending the Lancaster County Hall of Fame with our new partnership we're looking forward to. Brandon, you want to talk about that a little more?
Yeah, we're just excited to be partnering with the Lancaster County Sports Hall of Fame and everything they do. They have a yearly gathering where they hold an annual banquet where they induct different Lancaster legends, I guess we can say.
Yes.
Into the Hall of Fame. And it's yeah, go ahead.
No, I say it's this is more of like an outsider's thing. You and I don't think this way, but when people think Lancaster, they don't always think it's prestigious. But if you go through the list and you know the talent around Lancaster, it is a very prestigious Hall of Fame. This is a big deal. This isn't some small podunk Amish town that what a lot of outsiders think. At least people in Virginia always tell me every day.
Yeah.
It's a big time Hall of Fame, and we're excited to work with the Lancaster County Hall of Fame on this. We a lot of people on the staff, and they're excited about the partnership and anything we can do to spread the love. We're looking forward to. In a couple minutes here, we're going to have Patricia Meiser joining us, and a little background on her. So, Coach is. She's been inducted not only into the National Association of College Director of Athletics Hall of Fame, but she has also received the Gary Cunningham Lifetime Achievement Award. So, Coach, she's done it all. She's been, nonstop her whole career. Currently, she runs Meisr Sports Consulting LLC, which focuses on intercollegiate sports on campuses, career development, community engagement. She has over 100 plus clients. So, not too bad for our first guest for the Hall of Fame.
She was, the head basketball coach at Penn State women's program for a while.
The first ever, I believe.
Yeah, that's freaking nuts.
No, her resume, stacks. It just stacks and stacks. It keeps going. Coach, she's a grinder. 44 years in collegiate athletics. From coaching, playing, doing a little bit of everything. She's actually, a 1965 grad of your alma mater. I don't know if you knew that yet, Coach.
Yeah, J.P. McCaskey.
Yeah.
You can't hide that J.P. pride.
You cannot hide it at all. And we're going to ask her about that. She's going to talk about her whole career. We're looking forward to that. She should be on any minute. But going back, this is a very prestigious list that I'm looking forward to working. I was looking at the list and I got some names I want to, you're on the committee, Coach. We got some names I got to throw at you here. Then eventually down the road for some nominations. We'll get to that. We'll get to that off screen though. But excited to have her. Hopefully, Andy Noel would hopefully be joining us later this evening. If not today, we'll have him on before. We're hoping to have all the recent inductees on before the ceremony is October 12th. But regardless, any of them show up. Cool. If not, we're still going to be there on October 12th and honor these inductees. So we're looking forward to it.
Definitely looking forward to it. We're definitely excited to be there.
Yeah.
I want to ask Patricia about being on the hiring. Well, after she left Penn State, she went to UCONN, and she was on the hiring board that hired Gino Auriemma. One of the best arguably the best girls basketball coach ever. So,
right.
She's done a lot. So it's going to be.
She has done a lot. I'm going to check with her really quick. We're going to go right to break. Everybody, stay tuned.
For more great content, make sure you follow 717 Sports Media on all your podcast listening platforms. Also follow us on social media, on Twitter at 717_sports, Facebook and Instagram at 717 Sports Media. We're also checking on our website daily for your daily news and sports videos at 717sportsmedia.com.
Okay, we are back live here around the 717. We are very excited about our first guest here on around the 717. Patricia Meiser is joining us. Hey, should we call you Coach? Can we call you Coach Meiser?
You can call me Coach. That's fine. It's been a while, but
Well,
all
welcome.
right, there you are. Thank you so
there we
much.
go. You're welcome.
So my name's Carl Frederick. Brandon Way, he's our fearless leader of 717. But first of all, Coach, congratulations on being inducted in the Hall of Fame. Where were you when you found out?
That's a good question. My days are still so filled and so busy. I really, maybe on a golf course. How's that?
Hey, we'd rather you be honest. Just be
Yes,
honest.
yeah.
You deserve it.
I was there today and I'm still frozen. So
You golfed today, Coach?
I did 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, wow. That is commitment.
Yeah,
Yes.
Now, what course were you at? Were you golfing at?
I live in Manchester, Connecticut, strategically located 2 blocks from the golf course.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Perfect. That's perfect.
So
It is a wonderful course.
So is golf like 24/7 year round for you then, Coach?
I'm working on that.
Working on that?
Yes, I'm working on that. I love the game. It's just fabulous.
Very good. I mean, we're really happy you joined us. We're looking forward to next week. I think it's going to be a great event, and
Yes.
obviously with your history, you more than deserve it. I'm quite frankly not sure what took so long, but you're here now, Coach. And let's start from the beginning. You're a McCaskey graduate.
I sure am. Walked to across Victory Field to go in the big doors. Very proud to be in such a wonderful public high school, and felt like it was a key piece of who I am.
Definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is there any time in your busy schedule to get back to Lancaster much?
Well, I sure try. My brother and his wife and family are located in that area of Pennsylvania, so I do get back and visit. And I grew up there, so my mom and dad were there for quite a few years, but have since passed away. So my brother's the big draw, and they got golf courses there.
Yeah, they have many golf courses, Coach. Many.
Yes,
many that are used
beautiful.
often. That's
They
great.
definitely do.
Yes.
So now because you have your consulting firm that we're reading up on. I mean, now when will you come down to Lancaster for the ceremony? Will you come down that day?
Actually, no, I'm going to try to come down a couple of days ahead of schedule just to get myself there. It's an easy drive for me. I have grandsons at Penn State. So I tool around pretty good. I know my way.
Now,
Definitely.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, you obviously know, and it's not far from your old school either. Do you think you'll pop in at McCaskey at all?
I don't know that I'll pop in, but I just might buzz by.
They could use the pep talk, especially their football team, right, Coach Way?
Hey, we're gonna leave that alone.
How's the team doing?
Oh, come on, we're having a good podcast. Come on.
They've seen better days. They've seen better days, but they're working hard. So
Well, that's really important. And my whole life, in the world of sport, I've always believed that there's so much more than winning and losing. So you're educating young people, you're challenging them. And I really believe that's so valuable. So keep working at it. You'll get there.
Definitely. Now, how do you think, like, cause you're like a real trailblazer, coming from, just being in administration as a female, like back in the 60s, I know it was probably hard. Like, how has coming from Lancaster helped you become, the trailblazer you are today?
I have to say, as I hear the stories over my long career and see where other people have come from, I have a tremendous appreciation for Lancaster County, for the city, for the diversity, the sports offerings. Finances are tough everywhere, but Lancaster was a place where I could do sports in junior high, high school, and there were lots of opportunities. And I loved it. I mean, I just was cut out. My father and mother had a daughter, my sister, then they had me, and then they got the boy. They got my brother Bruce. And we all did sports because believe it or not, my mother back in the 30s in Lewisburg, North Carolina, played basketball. And my dad was a football, basketball, track athlete at Westchester. So, we just
runs in your blood. Runs in the family blood.
You bet. Great fun.
Definitely.
So, what was that like being the first? So you were the first women's coach at Penn State, correct? Was that?
Actually, no, but just to give you a sense of where we were, I became the head coach in 1974. So
Okay.
Title IX was introduced through federal legislation in 1972. So I had been in high school and college in the 60s. Then in the 70s, I went up to Penn State and started graduate work. I coached a JV basketball team in the early 70s, and then became the head coach in 74, just 2 years. Just 2 years after the federal government said, hey, y'all, you better get it together or else. And quite frankly, I was with 13 women in coaching different sports, and many of them stepped away from coaching because they did not want to get into the business of distributing scholarships to female athletes. And I couldn't have jumped higher. I just said, take me. I would love that job because I've always felt, scholarship money aside, which is huge for families, but the opportunity for a great sport opportunity, which guys love, was always something the right kind of gals could love too. I believe in the serious value of sport, male or female, anybody.
No, it's a great message, Coach. Now, getting that all started, I know you said you weren't backing down from anything. Did you get a lot of like negative feedback when you first got into coaching? And like, I mean, you're being a trailblazer, as the site says.
No, I can tell you that from 1974 to 1977, 78, when I started as the head coach, we had a 12-game schedule. So we were scurrying at Penn State to get into the big time. And that meant a 27-game basketball schedule. So within 3 years, we went from 12 games to 27 games. And then within 2 years, we were a top 20 program.
Wow.
That's how fast things flew. But that was because it was Penn State. Penn State decided they would be a target of the federal government, and therefore they were not going to be in a position where they had to apologize to anybody. So my salary as a head coach doubled in
Nice.
1 year. We no longer did vans. The team was on buses and charter flights. We chartered to NC State. We played in the Orange Bowl tournament. At the Orange Bowl tournament, we played Tennessee, UCLA, and Texas, and Penn State, and we lost 3 games by a total of 4 points.
Wow.
And that's when we jumped into the top 20 poll at 13.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was exciting.
It sounds like it now. Just talking.
Oh yeah. And your media folks, just let me, I think, Carl, did I tell you the story about the poll?
I don't believe so, no.
Well, this is amazing to me. There's a gentleman in Philadelphia. He is the father of women's basketball, and his name is Mel Greenberg.
Okay.
He started the top 20 poll. So I started in 74 as the head coach of Penn State. And the way we did it was Mel would call 20 head coaches up individually Sunday night.
Individually,
And we would write down all the scores because we had no way to send that information quickly. And then he would call me back between 11:30 and 12 to get my votes. And then on Tuesday morning in the Philadelphia Inquirer, he would publish the top 20 poll. It's like, oh my gosh.
you had a lot to do with the top 20 polls, what you're saying.
Well, along with 19 other head coaches.
They called you last. They wanted your input the most.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
sell yourself short, coach.
Mel Greenberg, who still writes and has received the top award from the WBCA. I think Mel called me last because he knew I'd be up.
There you go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Enough. You still help out with coach? I know you have your consulting firm. Do you still help out in coaching, any like volunteer or anything?
Oh no, no. I just
enjoying golfing.
No, well, that's part of it. But I have 6 grandchildren, and
Okay.
I'm still very involved in community organizations. I'm a part of First Tee, which is a national board. I'm a part of NCCJ, which is a national conference for community and justice. It's a social justice organization. That's been very important to me over my lifetime. And I'm still doing a little consulting. You'll be interested to know that 2 clients in the last couple of years are now heading NCAA men's and women's basketball officials. So I've had yeah. I used to wear the black and white stripes and get beat up on when I was on the floor as a youngster, but 2 great people that I've had the opportunity to work with as they vied for the head of NCAA basketball officiating in their respective areas. So, and I'm still helping men and women advance in their career.
So that's what your firm does, essentially?
Yeah. Yes, because I sat on the other side of the table. Okay. I'm very interested in helping coaches and administrators figure out how to get that job they want, because I was an administrator forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know what they look for.
No, that's great. I mean, my next message, and I'm sure you're up to date with everything going on with the NCAA and everything. She shook her head. She shook her head. What message what message would you send if you talk to 18 and 19-year-olds right now? What would you say? Version.
Well, first of all, just let me say that NIL and the transfer portal have changed the whole complexion of collegiate athletics. And I worked at one point as the senior women's administrator for a gentleman, John Toner, who was the president of the NCAA at the time. When I moved to Connecticut, he was the president. And I learned an awful lot from John, and he has since passed away, but he used to sit back in his chair and look at me, eyeball me, and say, Pat, don't ever let professional sport move into the amateur world of high school and collegiate sports. Well, the horse is out of the barn. We have Paige Bruckers here at UCONN with the women's program with huge contracts. You know what the contracts look like. And so I have always valued the educational piece, the combo of sports and learning. And I always said I would get out of the business if that was ever lost. So it's good I retired. Seriously, I mean, you'll have the rest of your life to make money. And while I think it's great that student athletes can generate some income, I have a real problem with that being the focus. To me, it's about growing up, learning socialization, being a part of a team, which gives you so much opportunity, and of course, working at the classroom work, because I think that's vital.
That's great. That's a great message. Now, were you on staff for? Now, I'm assuming you're close with Gino Auriemma. I know Brandon wanted to ask you that. So
yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Well, from Penn State, you went to UConn, right?
Yes.
And you were famously on the board that hired Gino Auriemma.
Right.
I mean, did you know at that time you were getting a special coach, or did you just thought that he was just the best candidate for the job?
Well, no one would have predicted what he and his staff have been able to do, but he was definitely a special guy. He was the last guy, last candidate, we had men and women, to come into the room and interview for the job. And he's just got he's a Philly guy. I got Philly in my blood. So his style, his energy, his insight as to where the women could go was exceptional. And he worked really hard at it. And he can sell. I mean, yeah. he can flat out sell. And so we feel very privileged in Connecticut to have had him all these years. I just was out to dinner with Kathy and Gino. Kathy's a Philly gal. They have 3 kids. 3 of my 4 kids babysat for them when they were little. They live in my town, my neighborhood. So they're fabulous people. He's amazing.
Wow.
What now? Amazing. What are his thoughts with everything with going on in the NIL and the transfer portal? I'm sure he's none too pleased.
Well, mind you, any great coach who has the capacity to recruit great high school players is not going to say, oh, that NIL stinks. I don't want you to make money. I want you to focus on this. But, they all say the right things. But I think there's a lot of frustration. And even if the rules, and they're continuing to be tweaked by the NCAA and the coaches associations, those, even if they could put the money back and do some different things with it, those that are generating significant amounts of money. Penn State's quarterback, 6th-year quarterback, Clifford.
Sean Clifford.
Sean has a company within athletic departments,
Yeah.
the NIL companies are springing up. Sean's right on it.
I knew he would be. That's funny you say that, because people, I'm not sure if you are, Coach, but we're big Penn State fans, and people would ask me, why is Clifford coming back? I knew exactly what his mindset was even before the NIL stuff came out. He wanted to, capitalize on that and have one more year at State College. That didn't surprise me at all.
Oh, no, that's got to be.
Yeah.
Might as well hang there as long as you can.
Yeah, no, he could be there for another 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a different time.
Yes.
But let you go on this, Coach. What's the message you want to send out to, because we were talking about this before you came on. When some people may think Lancaster, Lancaster County Hall of Fame, what a big deal, and it is a big deal. If you go through the list and prestigious names, and Brandon and I, just going through it now, there's a lot of big time names. What would your message be to any young athletes, or just your message in general?
Well, my message is for communities to really work hard, both internally and a fan base, a community, to support the student athlete experience. I really think that means fundraising, getting political and figuring out how you can put more dollars into those programs. I really believe in the model as an educational model. And I've always said publicly, in my mind, coaches are some of the best educators in the United States. They take a whole kid, all different kinds of kids, and they really work with them, and they discipline them, which is not easy to do. They hope for them, they help them in their career path, they incentivize them. So that's my message to communities, to student athletes. Vinny Baker, when I first got to Hartford, Vin Baker, we had Jeff Bagwell, what was it? 94 National League MVP, Vinny Baker.
Baker could play. You're talking about the basketball player, right?
Oh, yeah. 6'11".
Vin could play.
Yeah, these guys are personal friends of mine. Jerry Kelly. We have 3 guys on the Pro Tour in golf.
They're my personal friends. Well done, now.
Yeah. But Vin always talked about the fact that as a 9th or 10th grader, he didn't make the team. So the notion of not giving up, of continuing to develop your skills as a process of education, I just think the spinoff is so great. So be the last guy on the bench, be proud of it and work at it. Be the best manager that the team has ever seen. Support. I think kids need our help. And whether it's music or sports has been my arena. It's really important. And I applaud any coach, because I know how hard it is when you don't have a lot of support, when you sort of get smacked every now and then, you don't win, and then you get criticized or you have disappointments. But I say stay the course. There are people out there that really appreciate what you're doing and the ways that you're contributing to the growth of young people and our society. That's my message.
That's a great message. It's a great message.
Yeah, thank you. Get off the damn phone.
That's true.
I purposely left to the side because I knew Coach would say something like that. That's well said.
What part of Lancaster did you grow up in?
I grew up in the 7th Ward. I was down on East End Avenue near Stevens Trade School.
Yep.
Okay.
And when we were kids, we would go climb that fence. My sister and I and my little brother, we would climb that fence and we'd sneak into the gym over there. And we just did sports. It was our big playground. It was fun.
That's awesome. That is
It was
awesome.
a great time. Great time.
Well,
congratulations again.
Yeah, congrats. We're
Thank you.
big fans, well deserved. Thank you for taking the time out of your still busy schedule. I know golfing your grandkids and
Yep.
dinners with Coach Auriemma and Jeff Bagwell. The fact that you fit us in, you fit us in.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you
appreciate it.
very
But congrats
much.
again, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Take care,
Perfect.
guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
You too.
Oh, that was great. So that was Coach Patricia Meiser joined us here, the newest inductee into the Lancaster County Hall of Fame. And she was outstanding. That was
Great.
That was a great message, and we're happy she took time out of it. Yeah, we were joking with her at the end, saying, she, she's golfing and has 6 grandkids. That's all well deserved.
Definitely well deserved. But to do the things she did and come through what she came through in that time frame.
Yeah, I know that question you had was great, because I didn't even think about that. Like reading up on her this last week or so when we knew she was coming on, I didn't even think about that. Asking her what kind of feedback she got, and like if she got any negative feedback, being one of the first women coaches, because that was a different time, man.
Yeah. I mean, women are still trying to get equal pay and opportunities. So imagine it back in the 60s. 70s, I'm sorry.
I know. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, you're just seeing now like women getting assistant coaching jobs in the NFL and the NBA. This is 2022.
Yeah.
She was a head coach at a major institution in the mid 70s and has just worked her way up. That was awesome. So we're hoping the rest of the inductees join us. If not, we're still going to bother them on October 12th because we're excited for the partnership.
We are.
Yeah, Patricia, she was great. She was our first guest. This will be out soon. We're going to wrap it up here. Coach Way, any final parting shots?
No, again, just want to congratulate Patricia and just understand that she came straight from Lancaster City and made it all the way to an athletic director at the University of Hartford and worked in administration at UCONN and was a head basketball coach at freaking Penn State University. That's crazy.
I know. And she's still working now with her consulting firm. You heard her talk about in the message she's trying to spread. I loved what she had to say about Vin Baker, how he talked about, because I don't know if you remember, Vin Baker played in the NBA for a long time. He was a good player.
Played for the Bucks, didn't he?
Yeah, a couple of teams. I think Seattle too.
Yeah.
No, he was good, really good. I forgot he's from UConn. But now he stood up and said he didn't make it as a 9th and 10th grader. It wasn't the end of the world. I love that. That's a great message, because kids nowadays, if they not starting right away, whether it's high school or college, it's not that they give up, but we see almost every day. If a kid is not starting in college, he's in the transfer portal the next day.
Yes, it's hard to have a backup quarterback nowadays. It's hard for colleges right now.
I mean, they wonder why like Franklin gets 2 5-star running backs, and that's why every year,
Yeah.
But anyhow, thanks for joining us. That was Patricia Meiser. Congrats to her again. We're looking forward to seeing her next week. We'll be back with a few more guests before the Lancaster County Hall of Fame, which 717 will be present for. Myself, Carl Frederick, and Coach Way will be there. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
October 12th.
October 12th, don't forget.